Hi everyone, and welcome back to our channel, and welcome as well if this is your first visit here today. Today's timeless pick a card tarot reading is to help you decide if you should wait or move on. And while I can't make the decision for you, hopefully this reading will provide the insight and guidance you need to help you decide which path to take for your best and highest good. And this is a general reading, so it may not resonate with everyone. So just take what resonates with you, or maybe you'd like to consider a different pile. This reading is timeless, so whenever you view this reading, it applies to you as there's no time limit on it. But before we get started, we'd like to thank everyone for allowing us to be part of your journey. And if you're interested in looking at your personal journey, there's a link in the description below and pinned to the top comment to get personal tarot readings with us. Today we have 3 card stacks to choose from. Stack number 1 is the Tarot Grand Luxe, and that comes with this Amethyst and Gold Orgone Pyramid. Stack number 2, which is the Good Tarot, and that comes with the Peacock, we'll call this Peacock Orgone Pyramid. It's really pretty. And stack number 3 is the Moon of the Universe deck, and this comes with the Rose Quartz Orgone Pyramid. You can pause the video if you need to before making your decision, but it's usually best to go with your first impression, as that is your intuition speaking to you. So for stack number 1, it is the Amethyst and Gold. For stack number 2, it's the Peacock. And for stack number 3, it's the Rose Quartz. Timestamps are below in the description and pinned to the top comment. So let's begin your journey today. I'll see you in your readings. Welcome back, stack number 1. This is your reading if you chose the Tarot Grand Luxe and the Amethyst and Gold Orgone Pyramid. Remember, this is a general reading, so not all of it may resonate with everyone. And we'll be doing an energy check at the beginning of the reading with some tarot and oracle cards, so you'll know if this stack resonates with you or not. And at that point, you can either choose another stack or stay with this one and release what doesn't resonate with you. Also, since this is a should I wait or move on reading, I'll be reading the energy between you and your person. So hopefully this will provide clarity so you can make the choice about what you should do concerning this connection and your person for your best and highest good. So the first card that we have is the Sun and the 7 of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 6 of Cups. So the Sun is actually an excellent card, and it reveals there's a very strong connection between you and your person, stack number 1. It's a card of fulfillment, happiness, and enjoying all aspects of life. It also feels it could be a soulmate or twin flame connection with all the energy that's here between the two of you. When you first met, did things move really fast between you? Perhaps so much so that one of you tried to slow things down or just slammed on the brakes. And someone would do that by putting up walls and blockages to the energy flow between you, or perhaps running or sabotaging the relationship. And the reason I ask that is because the 7 of Swords, well, this can be about your person saying they're not sure of their feelings, although the feelings are there because the Sun tells us that, or your person denying the connection because it's too overwhelming for them. And at the worst, it can be about your person being unfaithful to you by seeing someone new or going back to an ex. And at times, this can be lies and deception. So for some of you, this may be about your person saying they don't know how they feel about you, or They're not unsure of their feelings or saying they still have feelings for their ex, but they really don't. They just want you to believe that. And it's all because the connection between the two of you is too powerful for them. Oh, and this could also be someone who has just disappeared on you, like a twin flame runner or a soulmate runner, or someone who is ghosting you. Now, the Wheel of Fortune. This card shows that fate and destiny are at work here for you and your person. And the wheel of the universe, the Wheel of Fortune, is in constant motion. And what is your current reality will not always be your reality. So for instance, if you're currently in separation from your person, change is in the wind. And that change can occur sometime during the next 10 weeks or any time within the 10 weeks from the time you see this video. This card actually asks you to be optimistic and have faith in the universe. Now, the Six of Cups. This is really about happy memories from the past. So if you're in separation now, this card indicates your person is enjoying a trip down memory lane. This card also indicates a strong past life connection between you and your person. So again, we consider the soulmate or twin flame journey. But most importantly, well, I think so anyway, is that this card tells us someone from your past will be returning. So if you currently are in separation, stack number one, it's very probable your person will be returning to your life. But this card also says that you can take your relationship back to where it was in the beginning, perhaps not moving so quickly, but to the place of laughter, fun, and adventure with each other. So now we'll look at the oracle cards. I'm going to leave these turned this way. And the first one that we get is stuck in the mud. So what this is saying is, now is not the time to move forward, but to observe. Clarity about this question, stack number one, will become clearer a little later, and perhaps clearer a little later during this reading. It's saying that perhaps now is not the best time to decide if you will wait or move on, but for now to be still and know the universe has a divine plan and to trust that divine plan. And the next card is Sky Dancers. The Sky Dancer invites you to welcome the deepest power of the divine feminine into your life. Perhaps you've overanalyzed your situation to the point that you've exhausted it or exhausted yourself. Now is the time to invite the sacred feminine, the wisdom that's within your heart, regardless of your gender. This is not gender specific, it's an energy. Because this wisdom that's within your heart can guide you. So if you've been trying to figure it out, stop trying to figure it all out and stop overthinking. And it's difficult not to overthink these situations because they're hard to deal with. But instead, it's asking to surrender to the divine process that's happening around you. So perhaps there's a reason that you're feeling this way, or perhaps there's a reason that you feel you need to make a decision about whether you should stay in this connection or move on or not. So the last card we have from the oracle cards is Unfinished Symphony. And well, this is interesting because this card actually means unfinished business and incomplete lessons and lack of closure. Moving on is very difficult when love is still there. And if your person is a runner or ghosting you, it's very difficult to find your center and your balance. But this card, stack number one, says there's unfinished business between you and your person. Of course, you can decide to move on, and if you do, This card suggests to find that closure within yourself. But if your ultimate decision is to wait, this card says to surrender to the process, the same as the Sky Dancer, and surrender to the universe. And hopefully this will become clearer now as we look at some additional oracle cards and some message cards. So first of all, I will give these oracle cards a quick shuffle. For stack number 1, should they stay or should they move on? Okay, Spirit, we're asking for stack number 1. Should they stay or should they move on? Stack number 1. Should they stay or should they move on? Big happy changes. Okay, so stack number 1. If you have been waiting for changes to take place in your connection, and because they haven't changed so far, you're trying to decide if you should wait or move on. This card is actually telling you that some changes are coming that are going to both be happy and positive changes, which will make your connection with your person much better. These cards also flew out, so let's see. This says wait. And this one that also flew out says trust. So we already have that impression here from some of the cards that we got in the reading about the Wheel of Fortune. Everything's changing. Everything's in constant motion. To wait and trust the process. The stuck in the mud card says that now is not the time to move forward, but to observe, and greater clarity is coming. This card suggests to wait for more clarity to come. And perhaps that clarity is going to come directly from your person, which will help you make your decision about whether you want to stay or move on. This card that also came out is trust. And I feel in this situation, this is saying, again, to come back to trust the universe, trust what the divine plan is in this connection. And it's about surrendering to the divine process that's happening around you and that's happening in your connection with your person. Now we'll use some additional oracle cards and ask for further guidance and insight and information for stack number 1. Should they stay and move on? What does their person have to say to them, stack number 1? Well, we will take some of these and see what they say. I'm realizing this connection is something special and worth treasuring. This is what your person is saying to you, stack number 1. Again, that's an indication perhaps that you would like to wait before making a decision. This next card that flew out is, I'm praying you'll come back after everything that happened between us. I worry that you won't forgive me and give me another chance. So if you've been through separation, stack number 1, if you've been in a separation, stack number 1, and your person is basically saying they want you to come back, even though so much has happened between the two of you, they do worry that you won't forgive them and you won't give them another chance. Okay, so perhaps, again, this is indicating that you may want to wait. This card says, I'm not happy. Karma is playing a role in what's happening with me, and it's hard for me to see a way out. So perhaps your person is having to deal with some karma from a past relationship or other situations with family, some other kind of interference. Perhaps they're stuck in a karmic situation, in a karmic relationship with a karmic partner, and they're trying to finish that and work that out. So they're actually saying they're not happy in their current dynamic, they're not happy in their current situation because they still have to find a way out of what's happening. Now, this may not apply to everyone, of course, but this may apply to some of you who are seeing this reading. And the next card that flew out was, I'm struggling with codependency. I'm afraid to let go of my coping mechanisms. So perhaps your person is someone who has addictions. Perhaps they have an addiction to alcohol or other kinds of mind-altering substances, or perhaps they're just addicted to relationship drama, or, kind of like not really being able to be fully present in a romantic relationship. And they're trying to find ways to deal with that rather than falling back on their old way of doing things. We'll take a few more of these. Stack number 1. Well, my heart is opening to love and guiding me back to you. So this again indicates, stack number 1, that if you've been in a separation situation, your person does want to come back and they do want to have a fresh start, new beginning with you. What else can we get? I wanted to send you a message today, but I was afraid to. I don't know if you want to hear from me right now, or if I can say the right things to you. So it looks like they do want to communicate with you, stack number 1. They just don't know what to say. They're also saying this: the universe brought us together for a reason. I am discovering what those reasons are. So stack number 1, it looks like your person understands that there's a reason for your connection. They do recognize that it's something of a deeper spiritual nature, such as the Sun told us in the 6 of Cups, with it being more of a soulmate or twin flame connection that has past lives attached to it, and that there is a reason. Some of these got flipped over, just want to straighten them out. And they're trying to understand the reason why you have such a strong connection. And that is something that I feel you may have to wait for, because it's something that's going to take them a little bit of time. See what else we have. This one flipped over. I've never felt love like this before. The depth of it can be inspiring, but also overwhelming. And perhaps that's what happens when you have a spiritual partnership, whether it's with a soulmate or twin flame. Sometimes it can be very overwhelming and overpowering and cause someone to sabotage, because they're afraid, and they're afraid they're going to get hurt. And so they may sabotage the relationship and say, deny the connection. It doesn't really exist, like the 7 of Swords told us earlier. And then we have this final message from this set of cards. I close my eyes and imagine you're here with me. It feels so real. I'm beginning to understand this is what it means to be in 5D with you. So it looks like your person is working on their spiritual connection and their spiritual connection with you. And they are feeling the telepathy and they're feeling the empathy that exists between the two of you. So we'll use some additional cards to see what stack number 1. Should they wait or should they move on? We're asking the universe for stack number 1. Should they wait or should they move on? I admire you. Your person tells you that they admire you. I don't know if this helps you make a decision about whether you want to stay or move on, but we'll see what further messages we get from them. Awakening. Someone is undergoing a spiritual transformation. This actually makes sense as well, because we saw the universe brought us together for a reason. I'm realizing that our connection is something special and worth treasuring. I've never felt the depth of this connection before. So your person is very aware that a spiritual awakening is happening and transpiring within them, which will ultimately make your relationship stronger and better. We'd like one more card for clarification, please. Stack number 1. One more card. The attraction you feel, chemistry, the attraction you feel is mutual. There's great chemistry between the two of you. We already know this, stack number 1. We've already talked about the spiritual connection, the emotional connection, the physical connection would be the chemistry, but that also includes the spiritual as well. So the connection between the two of you, stack number one, is a really strong and powerful thing. It looks like your person, whether they're in separation or you're currently having difficulties with them, it looks like they're understanding that now on a deeper level. So that's your reading today, stack number one. I hope this gives you some insight as to whether you are going to decide you're going to stay and wait, or whether you're going to move on. Thank you all so much for watching today, and thank you for sharing your journey with us. And if you'd like some insight into your personal journey, there's a link to get private readings with us in the description below and pinned to the first comment. Also, we would like to ask you, please take a moment to comment, like, and subscribe to our channel, Soulmates Twin Flames Tarot, or the shortcut at Soulmates Twin Flames. Have a great day, everyone. Blessings of love and light to everyone watching today. I will see you over in reading number 2. Welcome back, stack number 2. This is your reading if you chose the Good Tarot and the Peacock Pyramid. Remember, this is a general reading, so not all of it may resonate with you. We'll be doing an energy check at the beginning of the reading to see if this stack resonates with you, and at that point you can either choose to continue on with the reading and release what doesn't resonate, or you can choose a different stack. Hopefully this will provide clarity so you can make the choice about whether you want to wait or move on and make the decision for your best and highest good. So now we'll put out some cards. We have the High Priestess, Love. That's actually the Lovers. The Two of Air, which is the Two of Swords, and Transformation. Well, this is interesting because we only have 4 cards here, and 3 of these 4 cards, the High Priestess, the Lovers, and Transformation, which is the Death card, obviously, are major arcana. So this has a strong sense of fate and destiny attached to it. So the High Priestess. This is a card of mystery and secrets and indicates either you or your person are hiding the intense emotions you feel for each other. Even if your person has shared some of their feelings with you, it's very probable that they're holding some back and keeping it a secret, keeping it a mystery, or keeping you in suspense. You also have a very strong intuition with each other. You can see by the third eye here on the card. So you're able to speak without words, and there's strong telepathy and empathy between you. Was there really strong, intense eye contact when you first met? Like you could see into their soul and they could see into your soul? It seems as well that you know each other better than anyone either of you have been with before. And that's because of this strong intuition and this strong connection between the two of you. Also, there's a lot of water energy here, lots of intuition and emotion. And it ties, this card, the High Priestess, ties to the astrological sign of Cancer. So Cancer rising, Cancer sun, Cancer moon, Cancer in Venus, lots of Cancer in the chart here. The next card is the Lovers. And this card represents love, relationships, romance, partnerships, and a strong connection between you and your person. And it's not just physical attraction, but one that's mental, emotional, and spiritual as well. It's also the card of soulmates because you can see yourself in your person and vice versa. And you are literally a reflection of, for, and to each other. But it's also the card for twin flames because the astrological sign for this card is Gemini, which is the twins. But the Lovers is also about having to make a decision. Interesting, right? Because that's what this reading is for. But let me just add this. In this deck, the Good Tarot, this card, Love. It's the Lovers, but this card deck calls it Love. It's about oneness and unity. And if you're currently in separation, this card tells us that you're very much on the mind and the heart of your person, and that this connection is still very much alive, and the possibility, strong possibility for reunion is here. So the next card is the Two of Air, the Two of Swords. This is a card of balance. So the key here is to learn how to judge with the mind while listening to the wisdom of your heart. But in regard to your person, perhaps they are too much in their head, and there's a disconnect between the heart and the mind, where the heart says yes to your love connection, but the mind says, oh no, I have to hold back here and protect myself, don't want to get hurt. Perhaps your person has been hurt in the past, and it's very difficult for them to share and express their feelings. And waiting for someone to express their feelings can be very frustrating. Well, the Two of Swords is also very much about being at a crossroads, and again, having to make a decision, but it also says it's not really time for that decision. This card says to take a time out and really consider what you want to do here. Use the intuition of the High Priestess to help you make that decision. The correct answer for your highest good will come to you. So the next card is Transformation. And yes, it's got 13 on it, so that corresponds to the regular tarot deck as the Death card. So this is about death and rebirth and major changes, and falls under the astrological sign of Scorpio. So on the physical level, there's a lot of passion between you and your person, stack number 2. You have a very passionate connection. Even if you're in separation, that passion is still very much there. This is a card of transformation and change. And perhaps change needs to happen with your person, or perhaps with you as well. And if you're in a relationship currently with your person, you must both embrace change for your relationship to continue, and so you can both grow and evolve into better versions of yourself. And the presence of this card indicates this is going to happen in the near future. I also have some oracle cards I'd like to put out. And the first one we have is Serendipity. This card reminds us to be aware of synchronicity in our lives. Good luck and good fortune appear as signs and symbols, which is really more than coincidence, but a magical alignment of events. Are you seeing more synchronicity, stack number 2? Are you seeing 1111? Do you see your person's name in unusual places? The model and color of their car, or any unusual number combinations that are significant to the two of you that remind you of them? The universe is presenting these signs to you and asks you to pay attention. The universe is guiding your connection with your person with divine timing and a divine plan. You will experience serendipity if you're currently in a relationship with your person, but also when you're in separation. And if you're seeing an increase in these signs, it's a strong indication a reunion is coming soon. We also have a few videos on seeing the number 1111 and about synchronicity, and I will put those videos in the link in the description below. The next card we have is Winter's Dream. This card asks you to focus on the deep and hidden places in your heart. Rest in the safety and sanctuary of your soul. Very much like the High Priestess, when you go within yourself, you will find peace and clarity. This can also indicate a hibernation period, so perhaps stack number 2, this is very much your reading if you're in separation with your person right now. So think of this sort of like a cocoon and waiting for the transformation that is coming. So the next card we have is Slow and Steady. And this really reminds us of the story of the hare and the rabbit and the turtle. Tortoise and the rabbit. Slow and steady wins the race. This is the time for unhurried steps and a steady heart. Try not to make a decision in haste, just to create movement in your relationship with your person. So don't make a decision just to try and create movement. Sometimes the best course of action is to take no action and just be still. And it's very hard to do that, to just be still, especially when we want things to move along, especially when we've been sort of like at a stalemate for a while or been feeling really stuck in our connection and we're ready for things to start changing and transforming. But many times the best course of action is to just do nothing. All right, so I'm going to look at some additional oracle cards now and see if we can get further clarification so you can decide if you should wait or move on. Stack number 2, wait or move on. Stack number 2, should they wait or move on? Stack number 2, wait or move on. Meditation brings answers. So that really, again, following your intuition, listening to your inner guidance, harnessing the power of the High Priestess may bring you further clarification. The situation will improve. So things are going to get better. It says concerning your connection with your person, perhaps they're going to be going through some change and transformation that's really necessary so that you have a much stronger, better chance of allowing this relationship to grow and evolve into all that it can be. Got one more. Stack number 2, should they wait or move on? Stack. If you believe. So what do you believe, stack number 2? Do you think that you should wait? Do you believe in your connection? Do you believe there's more coming in your connection? In your heart of hearts, not in your head, okay? In your heart of hearts. Remember, the heart and the head sometimes are not in communication with each other. Sometimes the head can create fears, but sometimes the heart doesn't create fear, right? So try to separate your head from your heart, your fears from your love, and see if that helps you decide if you want to wait or if you want to move on. So now we'll look at some messages from your person. Well, fate. This is a destined partnership, okay? And we said that in the very beginning when I mentioned that there were 3 major arcana here and that there's a very strong sense of fate and destiny attached to the connection with you and your person. I am grateful for the spiritual lesson. So perhaps your person is having to grow. Perhaps they're having to evolve and become and go through spiritual transformation and spiritual growth in order for them to be able to really embrace this relationship with you. Stack number 2, should they wait or should they move on for stack number 2? You speak to me through music. This again comes back to serendipity. Perhaps they're also seeing signs. Perhaps they're also getting synchronicity from the universe and not only seeing your name or seeing numbers that remind them of you, but also hearing songs. And perhaps they're hearing songs. Your song is playing on the radio wherever they go and they can't get away from it. So music is the language for the soul. Play hard, find time off to goof off and enjoy each other. So perhaps your person hasn't been spending as much time with you lately, stack number 2, because they've been busy with work or they've been busy with different things and other obligations, and interference is pulling them away from you. So this is actually saying that it's time for you to spend some time together and enjoy each other's company. One more for stack number 2. Passion, try something you've never done before. Okay, well, that could be fun. And we'll put that right on top of the playing hard card. So there is a lot of passion between the two of you, stack number 1. Stack number 2. As we said when we talked about the transformation card, it's a very passionate connection. All right, we've got one more set of cards that we're going to look at to help you decide if you should wait or move on. So, stack number mirrors. You are in your old patterns but can't see it. So perhaps your person is stuck in their old patterns of behavior and needing to break free of that, okay? And as we see that they're undergoing some change and transformation, perhaps they'll be able to get out, break free from these old patterns, and actually be able to create better relationship behaviors with you moving forward. We are one. Don't let fear get in the way of this truth. Your person says that you are one. So this again comes back to it being a soulmate and or twin flame connection, because there is that deep spiritual union, deep spiritual relationship here between the two of you. Stack number 2. We must remember that we are gods and goddesses and work to embody that energy. That's a very strong spiritual message, stack number 2. I'll do one more. I can't validate our love in 3D until I understand our spiritual love in 5D. Give me time to explore this aspect so I can be a strong spiritual partner for you. Again, this is really talking about their spiritual growth. And throughout this reading, we have seen that they are growing and evolving spiritually. This is something that will help your connection. It will help your relationship, and hopefully it will help you decide whether or not this is something that you want to wait for or move on from. We'll have one more of these for stack number 2. I feel you pulling away, and it triggers my fears that you'll leave me for good. So perhaps your person is feeling that you're trying to make this decision about whether you're going to wait for them or move on. Okay, so because there is this energetic connection between the two of you, as we talked about with the High Priestess and with the lovers, there is this really strong intuitive, empathic, and telepathic connection. Perhaps they're feeling that you are pulling away from them and trying to decide if you should wait or if you should move on. And this could actually be one of the things that causes them to start really taking action and putting forth more energy and more effort with you. Okay, we've got one more stack. You show up in my dreams. It helps me process buried memories. So I do feel that you are dreaming about each other, stack number 2. Whether you're together, whether you're in a relationship currently, whether you're in separation. This again is also causing your person to go through spiritual lessons, evolve, become a much stronger person with a stronger foundation spiritually, which will ultimately give the two of you a stronger foundation in your relationship. So this is your reading for today, stack number 2. Thank you all so much for watching today. I hope this was able to bring some clarity to your decision about whether you're choosing to wait or move on. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. And if you'd like some insight into your personal journey, there is a link below to get private readings in the description, as well as pinned to the first comment. Also, we'd like to ask you to please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, Soulmates Twin Flames Tarot, or the shortcut at Soulmates Twin Flames. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you over in reading number 3. Welcome back. This is your reading, stack number 3, if you chose the Moon of the Universe deck and the Rose Quartz Orgone Crystal. I apologize for the noise, but there's a motorcycle going by. Remember, this is a general reading, so not all of it may resonate with everyone. I'll be doing a quick energy check at the beginning of the reading with some tarot and oracle cards, so you will know if this stack resonates with you or not. So you can either choose another stack or stay with this one and release what doesn't resonate. Also, since this is a should I wait or move on reading, I'm reading the energy between you and your person. So hopefully this will provide clarity so that you can make the choice about what you want to do concerning this connection for your best and highest good. So we have, the 5 of Wands and the Hermit, the Moon, and the 6 of Swords. Just organize these a little bit. So the 5 of Wands. So there may be conflict with your person at the moment, stack number 3. It can also indicate your person is creating conflict and or drama, and perhaps you're not communicating very effectively at the moment and you're arguing a lot with each other and unable to reach compromises or agreements, or perhaps your person actually refuses to compromise right now. This also indicates your person is very busy at this time, so they may not be able to spend quality time with you. This is a card of struggle in both life and love, and it will be difficult to talk to them, and it could lead to a breakup or a separation. And if you're currently in separation, avoid reaching out to your person right now because it will only make things worse. Now, the Hermit. This card tells us perhaps your person is taking a time out from your relationship at the moment, stack number 3. And it's not always a bad thing to take a time out to develop some insight about what you want in life and love. Then again, perhaps this is referring to you. Perhaps you're the one taking the time out to figure out what you want, whether you want to wait or whether you want to move on. So with the Hermit present, your person may be turning their back on you at the moment or have completely turned away from you and your relationship. They could be ignoring you or ghosting you, and this may apply to some of you, but not all of you. And it really feels like crap when they do that, when they ghost you, when they ignore you. Ghosting is I consider ghosting to be one of the worst things ever to do to anybody. Or perhaps this is you. Perhaps you're turning away from them until they get their act together. And since this is the Hermit, there's a lot of Virgo energy here. So Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, Virgo and Venus, lots of Virgo, lots of Earth energy. The next card we have is the Moon. And the Moon can represent someone who is moody or emotionally out of balance. And perhaps how your person is acting at the moment. It's also a card of intense dreams and intuition. So your intuitive connection to your person is very strong. And you experience empathy and telepathy with them, even if you're in separation. Maybe you're having a lot of dreams about them right now, and it's possible they're having dreams of you, especially if you're in separation. If you're in a relationship with your person at the moment, the Moon Tarot card tells us that there may be misunderstandings in communication, very similar to this 5 of Wands. So it's important to be clear when you do communicate with them. Perhaps a past relationship is still haunting them. Not that they want to be with that person. This is more about still being stuck in the negative emotional fallout from that past relationship. The Moon card tells us a lot about Pisces energy as well. So Sun, Moon, Rising in Pisces makes a lot of sense here. Perhaps that checks in with you. Doesn't need to, but that's just part of the reading. Now, the next card is the Six of Swords, and this is a card of transition and leaving troubled times for a better one. So things may be improving with your person, stack number 3. If your person has been distant with you, they may be getting ready to embrace this relationship and release all emotional baggage. So you have a shot at a much better relationship moving forward. And that actually makes a lot of sense with the Moon card and releasing any past relationship baggage. If you're in separation, this card tells you things will probably get better. The rocky turbulence is in the past, and smoother sailing is coming for you. So if things have been troubled with this discontent and disagreements and combativeness and kind of like pulling away from each other and moodiness and kind of some depression, things are going to get better, the Six of Swords tells us. Okay, so the first oracle card that we have here, well, it's coming apart. Now is the time to take separate paths. The coming apart card is a sign to put an end to what is no longer working for you. This card also says if someone wishes to break away from you, don't chase them. The price you will pay will not be worth the prize. But let's see what the rest of the reading says, stack number 3, before you decide if you're going to move on or not. So the next card is round and round. Well, it may feel as if you've been round and round with your person. Do you feel like you're repeating the same patterns in this relationship as you have in past relationships? This card's asking you to look at that. Well, you've been drawn to this person through the perfection, drawn to your person, through the perfection of the universe's divine plan for your evolution. So perhaps there is a deeper reason that you're still connected to your person. Is there something that you still need to learn? Perhaps there's still something there that is of value for you. Stack number 3. And the last oracle card we have is Closing Door. And that also comes with a number 5. And number 5 is about change. Changes occurring, changes happening. When the closing door shows up, it's a call to recognize an ending. It's time to walk out of the door. Muster the courage to say no more. If the door has been closed to you, stop knocking on it. You've tried that already, and no one answered, at least not the way you would have liked. Take this as a gift, as difficult and painful as it might be, and move on. Every door that closes is an invitation to find another. And while I might normally stop the reading here, stack number 3, this is about you trying to make a decision about whether you're going to wait or move on. So I'm going to use some additional oracle cards to see if we can get some further clarification for you about this decision to wait or move on. Stack number 3, should they wait or move on? Stack number 3. No need to worry. Before I talk about that, we're going to get some additional information. No need. Stack number 3, should they wait or move on? Should stack number 3 wait or move on? Be assertive. Stack number 3, take action. Okay, so I feel that this is basically saying that it's time to make some decisions, stack number 3, about your situation. And I feel the no need to worry card comes up because it's saying there's no need to worry, that you have the divine guidance of the universe behind you, and whatever choice you decide to make, you're going to be okay. But again, this be assertive and this need to take action. Perhaps it is time to decide to close the door and start moving forward with your life. But before you make a decision, let's look at some additional message cards and see if we get some more information from your person. About should you wait? Stack number 3. Should they wait or move on? New love. A new love or recommitment to love is developing. So when one door closes, stack number 3, another door usually opens. Every door that closes is an invitation to find another. Unavailable. This person is unable to give you all you deserve. Let's see what else the universe has to say for stack number 1. I don't know how to feel. This is your person saying this to you, stack number 3. They don't know how to feel concerning your connection or your relationship. They do want you back, however, and if you do decide to stay with them or go back to them, this is really important about being assertive. So if you do make a decision to stay with them or go back to them, this is the time to set boundaries with them and let them know that, you know, these certain boundaries are not going to be crossed, that they're going to have to abide by the rules as you set them and as you see them. Okay? That's something that comes with being assertive, right? So, well, it dropped on the floor and I can't reach it, so we're just going to go for another one. So stack number 3, should you wait or should you move on? Let's see what we have here, since so many popped out. I hid who I really am from you. I hide my feelings. I know that I crossed the line with you. I left you before you could leave me. So perhaps this is your person basically saying that they were unable to be authentic with you because they're afraid. They've been hurt in the past and they have feelings that they have to sabotage the relationship, and they put distance and space and separation between you because they were afraid that you were going to end things with them because you would see how they really are. And that comes from their lack of self-esteem and you know, needing to believe in who they are. And they also need to be their more authentic selves, okay? And it says this when it says, I hid who I really am from you. This was a plethora of cards that shot out of my hands at the end of this reading. So we put them all out there. So stack number 3. This is your reading for today. And I hope this was able to bring some clarity about whether you should wait or move on. Thank you all so much for watching today, and thank you for sharing your journey with us. And if you would like some insight into your personal journey, there's a link to get private readings with us in the description below and pinned to the first comment. Also, we'd like to ask you to please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Blessings of love and light to everyone watching today. Have a great day, everyone.